Hey everybody, Napalminator here again. One of the most popular questions on the Discord is, what pet should I get? So let's talk about that. In this video I'm going to talk about tiers 1 through 4. I'm going to split up talking about this pet stuff into a couple videos, so it's a little bit more digestible, so you don't have to listen to me chat about a bunch of low tier pets when you just care about high tier pets. If you're watching this video, it's going to be tiers 1 through 4. You might not quite understand what tiers are yet. Tiers in Orna are 25 level groups that dictate a lot of things in the game. They dictate what enemies you see, they dictate what gear you can equip, and relevant to this video, they dictate what pets you can buy. So if you are a tier 1 player, you are levels 1 through 24 and you can only buy tier 1 pets. If you are tier 2, you are levels 25 through 49, you can only buy tier 2 and tier 1 pets, and so on. You can't buy a pet higher than your current tier. So first off, tiers 1 and 2. Don't buy a pet from tiers 1 and 2. Just don't waste your money. Don't waste your ones. You are going to outgrow these pets very, very rapidly. You can get to level 50, which would be tier 3, in a few hours quite easily if you're playing hard. You're just wasting your orns if you do this. You should spend your orns on classes, or save them for future pets, or work on buying a shop, or pretty much anything else. Don't buy a tier 1 or tier 2 pet. I have the tier 1 and tier 2 pets pulled up on the screen here. You might look at some of these percentages, like the dog is 50%, the lesser red slime is 90%. It sounds nice, but again, you're going to outgrow these pets real quick. Just don't do it. So now I'm going to only show tier 3 pets here on the guide. Tier 3 is where pets start to get actually useful. First pet that is actually useful, very first one here on the list, is the fairy. The fairy has a low chance of attack. It will occasionally do damage, but what everybody loves about it is it has a 25% chance of healing you. I'm going to click on the heal skill here, and it will heal you for 100 hit points. And that's what it does. It just heals you. Very popular, very useful, universally useful. The one thing I'll say is, in tier 4, you might want to consider waiting for that, because there is a significantly better healing pet. So if you can put off buying the tier 3 pet, there's a much better tier 4 healing pet that you may want to consider. But fairy's not bad. It's only 7,500 orns. The other one in tier 3 that you should possibly consider, this is the number 2 choice, would be the ghost. Again, he only has a 5% chance of attack, but he has a 20% chance of debuff, and his debuff is sleep. He will put your opponents to sleep fairly often. In arena, in PvP, in wars, this can be pretty brutal. If you get slept in a PvP battle, your odds of winning are quite low in general. It's pretty harsh. Sleep and similar skills like Sleep Dart are very popular among low to mid tier players, because they will just freeze an enemy. If you are slept, you can't do anything. So sleeping an opponent is quite powerful. So that guy is pretty desirable, and again, only 7,500 orns. The rest of the pets in Tier 3, we got Gnome, Hellhound, Imp, Lizar, Mimic, Zoo. They look okay, but they're not really that desirable. I wouldn't recommend them. So let's talk about Tier 4 pets now. Tier 4 pets, nothing on this top line is really desirable. Scroll down a little bit. First of all, I'm going to tell you what not to buy. Do not buy the Great Fairy. It is the most regretted pet purchase. People think from the description that says it will cure your status effects in battle. People think it will heal them, that it will give them hit points back, like the Fairy and the Wisp, which I'll talk about in a moment, does. That's not what the Great Fairy does. The Great Fairy, you can see what it does here. It does cure bleeding, cure blindness, and so forth. It does not heal your hit points. I can't count how many people have come in to the Discord complaining that the Great Fairy won't heal their hit points. And we explain it to them, and then they're very sad. What else can I say? However, the next one on the list here, the Wisp. The Wisp is probably the most desirable lower tier pet there is. He's like the Fairy, but he's better. So his only ability is Wisp's Heal here. But Wisp's Heal recovers 300 hit points and cures common statuses. And common statuses pretty much are what you see here on the Great Fairy. Cure bleeding, cure blindness, and so forth. Now the Wisp doesn't cure them quite as much. He only has a chance of 20% versus 50% over here for the Great Fairy. But he heals your hit points and removes poison, bleeding, and so forth. Super useful. If you're only going to get one pet early game, get the Wisp. That's all there is to it. You can use the Wisp up until Tier 6, Tier 7 very easily. It is probably the most powerful pet in the low and mid tiers. Finally, there's the Yeti. I can't give a strong recommendation to it, but he does throw some nice defensive stuff for you. The magic shield and the protection. And he does some attacks too. For 30,000 orns, it's hard to give a strong recommendation to him, but he's not terrible either. I wouldn't, not my first choice here, but he's not garbage either. I'd go with the Wisp instead, though. And then the yokai there, just ignore him. So there you go. There is your tiers 1, 2, 3, and 4 pet recommendations. Again, skip tiers 1 and 2. Tier 3, get Fairy or Ghost. Tier 4, get Wisp, maybe Yeti, but mostly Wisp. Good luck.